Today, I'll be presenting Unit 7, Cities and Urban Land Use. The bulk of this unit is concentrated upon models that explain how activity is clustered in certain areas. The first one is called the concentric zone model. This model was created by E.W. Burgess and shows how social groups are spatially arranged in a series of 5 rings. This model was based on the city of Chicago. Next, we have the sector model, also known as the Hoyt model, named after its maker, Homer Hoyt. This model is based on Chicago 2, however, it arranges its activity into sectors, not rings. It is the only model to account for environmental factors. The next well-known model is the multiple nuclei model. This model, created by Chauncey Harris and Edward Ullman, says that there is not one center that activity revolves around, but many. This model has become more popular than the others because it illustrates real-life activity clusters a lot clearer. There are also 3 smaller models that explain where activity is clustered in other parts of the world. The first is a Latin America model. This model is distinctive because of their spine of high-income residential areas extending outwards from the CBD, and also because of their squatter settlements. This brings up the topic of squatter settlements. They are areas of squalor and extreme poverty on the outskirts of cities. For example, in Brazil, the squatter settlements are on the outskirts of Rio de Janeiro and are known as favelas. In other Latin America cities, squatter settlements are known as veredas. The second other model is called the Southeast Asian City Model. These cities are very prosperous and have specific zones that have been established for Western companies to locate within. The third model is called the African City Model. African cities are the fastest growing urban area in the world today. The structure includes 3 distinctive CBDs, the colonial CBD, the traditional CBD, and the market or bazaar CBD. Our next topic is urban hierarchy. The smallest settlement is a hamlet, followed by the village, then the town, next is the city, and finally the largest is the megalopolis. Hamlet, the smallest settlement, might consist of farmers' houses with perhaps a few basic services. Next, we have the village. This is the next smallest settlement and is very likely to offer several dozen services. These are more specialized and may include stores that sell certain goods instead of general stores, such as these shown. After the village comes the town. It is not only larger than a village, its structures have more specialized functions as well. It has more homes and more services offered to its citizens. It also has a larger hinterland or market area. Next in line comes the city. These cities shown below, New York City and Dubai, are examples. Cities have larger hinterlands, more population, well-defined CBDs, as well as suburbs. Finally, we have the megalopolis. This is formed by multiple cities that come together to form the highest level of urban hierarchy. The best example of a megalopolis is that called Bosnia-Wash. This spreads on the east coast from Boston to beyond Washington, D.C. Now that we have finished talking about urban hierarchy, let's talk about services. A service is a system supplying a public need such as transport, communications, or utility. The first type of service is a business service. These are services that primarily meet the needs of other businesses. It includes professional, financial, and transportation services. The second type of service is consumer services. These are businesses that provide services primarily to individual consumers, including retail and personal services. An example would be Walmart or Best Buy. The third type of service is public services. These are services offered by the government to provide security and protection to businesses and citizens. Good examples include police officers and firemen. Have you ever wondered why some things are placed further apart than others? Well, the gravity model and central place theory are 2 popular ways of explaining the relationship between the distance of things. Walter Christaller established the central place theory with 3 major components. The first component is range, which is the maximum distance people are willing to travel.
Created using Powtoon.